Thank you. Oh, okay. Complete silence. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here in spite of the heavy rains. We really appreciate your presence here. We will be starting shortly. We're just going to have a few more minutes so people can settle down, and we will commence with the program for the day. Thank you very much for being here on time. Thank you. Watson of the AM Agoro Great Grandchildren's Association. Distinguished chairman of the occasion, Alhaji Chief Akoni Razak Okoya, our special guest of honor, the governor of the CBN, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, ably being represented, our keynote speaker, Mr. Lolu Akinwumi, founder and group CEO, Prima Garnet, our moderator, esteemed panelists, sponsors and supporting brands, and all of you, our invited guests. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 8th Agoro Entrepreneurship Lecture Series. Thank you for joining us again, and thank you also to those of you joining us online. Right, so let's get straight into business. For many Nigerian businesses, the past few years have demanded a different way of thinking. Rising operating costs, exchange rate volatility, changing consumer priorities, and a more competitive marketplace have meant that businesses can no longer rely on yesterday's strategies to deliver tomorrow's results. Yet, amid all this change, one thing has remained remarkably consistent. Every business still depends on people choosing to buy, choosing to return, and choosing to recommend your business. These choices are made by your customers. In many ways, that makes the customer the most valuable asset any business has, because every business decision ultimately has an impact on the customer. From pricing, product quality, innovation, service delivery, or communication, the customer is where the business strategy is often tested. And that is why today's theme is both timely and relevant: winning the customer in a tough economy. How Nigerian businesses can adapt and grow. Throughout today's program, we will hear practical perspectives from accomplished business leaders who have built organizations, navigated uncertainty, and continued to create value under challenging conditions. Whether you're an entrepreneur, an executive, a professional, or a student preparing for tomorrow's opportunities, I hope you leave here with ideas that are practical, applicable, and worth acting on. Once again, welcome to the 8th Agoro Entrepreneurship Lecture Series. Right, so before we begin the formal proceedings, may I share just a few housekeeping announcements for your comfort, well, for all our comfort and safety. Well, we kindly request that all mobile phones and other electronic devices be switched to silent mode or vibrate throughout the entire program. Please remain seated during presentations where possible. The registration desk, as you would have found, is located at the entrance. If you've not yet registered, please do so during an appropriate break. Also, there are banners and cards with QR codes because the brochures, in the spirit of moving forward with technology, we have e-brochures. So you can get access to those with some of the banners and cards that are provided around the venue. The restrooms are located just before the main entrance to that side, and our ushers will be happy to direct you if required. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please remain calm and follow the instructions of our ushers and security personnel. The nearest emergency exits are located. There's a door here, there's the main entrance, there is a back door, and there's also an exit that way. We ask that you keep the aisles and exits clear at all times, looking pointedly at the press. They're not going to move. Photography and videography will be taking place throughout the event. By remaining in the venue, you acknowledge that photographs and video recordings may be used for AMELS publications and promotional purposes. Following the formal program, we encourage you to stay for networking, visit the exhibition stands, and interact with our speakers, panelists, and our AMAESI beneficiaries. We also encourage you to support their businesses. At the end of the event, the Guinness bar at the rear of the venue will be open. Please feel free to indulge in a mocktail or cocktail or two. If at any time you require any assistance during the program, please approach one of our ushers who will be pleased to assist. Well, with that cleared up, let's proceed to formally get the 8th AMELS show on the road by recognizing an additional few special guests joining us today. First off, we have the head of service of Lagos State, ably represented by his wife, Mrs. Oyinlola Agoro. Apologies. We also have with us the PS for LASEG, Mr. Fashola. We also have with us the former SSG of Lagos State, Mrs. Shade Jaji. We also have a lot of past and present permanent secretaries in here that belong to the Agoro family, but we will all protocol observed before I get into that. Ladies and gentlemen, next up, I would like to ask for you to please rise for the national anthem. Thank you. Thank you very much. We may now be seated. To give the welcome address, I will be inviting the
How are you all doing? Nice to be here. Distinguished chairman of the occasion, Chief Razak Akoni-Okoya, ably represented. Our special guest of honor, Mr. Olayemi Cardozo, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Our keynote speaker, Mr. Lulu Akinwumi. Our moderator and distinguished panelists, invited guests, members of the Agoro family, ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. On behalf of the Agoro family and the AMELS, I warmly welcome you to the 8th Agoro Entrepreneurship Lecture Series. It's a great pleasure to see us all gathered here, not only for the lecture, but for something that has become deeply meaningful to the family and to the wider community that we serve. Pa Abudu Mukandase Agoro passed away over 70 years ago. Yet today, his name still gathers us. His value speaks to us, and his legacy gives us a reason to come. And for those of us who are grandchildren and great-grandchildren, this event carries a special responsibility. I stand here as one of his granddaughters, and our master of ceremony, Karima, today is one of his great-granddaughters. That continuity reminds us that legacy is not just what we inherit, it is what we choose to carry forward. A legacy is not preserved only by remembering the past. It is preserved by giving the next generation something meaningful to build with. That is the spirit behind the Agoro Entrepreneurship Lecture Series. The AMAELS was established to honor the life and values of Agoro, which are enterprise, discipline, integrity, service, and commitment to community. It is also this year's topic, winning the customer in a tough economy, how Nigerian businesses can adapt and grow, speaks directly to the times we are in. Many businesses are facing real pressure. Entrepreneurs are having to think harder, adapt faster, and work more intelligently to retain the confidence of their customers. We're therefore grateful to have with us speakers and panelists who will help us examine the subject with depth and practical insight. However, AMAELS does not end with discussion. Through the Agoro Entrepreneur Support Initiative, AMAESI, we continue to give practical support to selected entrepreneurs through grants, business training, and mentorship. This is one of the most important parts of the work because it allows us to move from memory to impact and from tribute to action. And today you will find this year's beneficiaries all displaying their wares and products and services to the right end of the hall. I would like to sincerely thank and appreciate our distinguished chairman, Chief Razak Akoni, for his warm support, very kind support, and also for honoring us with his presence, ably represented. To our special guest, of course, Mr. Olayemi Kadozo, also ably represented. Thank you so much. Our keynote speaker, Mr. Lulu Akiwumi, thank you very much. Our moderators and our distinguished panelists, we thank you for making time to be part of this year's event. I would also like to thank our sponsors, Malta Guinness, Caverton Offshore Support, Dufil Nigeria, and Skystone Financials, and donors and other supporters, and AMAESI partners. I also want to thank the Agoro family, who has contributed in no small way to make today possible. And to the planning committee, I say a very big thank you to you. The work behind an event like this is often unseen, but it is deeply valued. As we begin today's program, I invite us all to listen, reflect, and engage meaningfully. May today's lectures and business discussions strengthen our commitment to enterprise, encourage those building businesses in these difficult times, and renew our shared responsibility to carry forward the legacy of Pa Abudu Mukandasi Agoro. Once again, you are all very welcome. Enjoy today, everyone. The sun is out. Stop raining, and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Right. I would like to use this opportunity to introduce the chairman of the event, Alhaji Chief Razak Akoniokoya. But first, I would need to read his amazing profile so we can see. I mean, we all know that this is one of the bastions of entrepreneurship in Lagos State, but it's also nice to see the accomplishments of the man, the legend himself. So, Alhaji Chief Razak Akoniokoya is the founder and chairman of the Eleganza Group of Companies and Rao Investment Property Company Limited. Alhaji Chief Razak Akoniokoya, sorry, I just heard some news, so I'm trying to understand. His organizations have played a significant role in Nigeria's manufacturing and real estate sectors. He was born on January the 12th, 1940 in Lagos, and rose from his father's tailoring trade to build one of Nigeria's largest indigenous business conglomerates. Over the course of more than 6 decades, he expanded his enterprise from trading into manufacturing, industry, and property development, establishing a business empire that spans consumer goods production, industrial manufacturing, residential estates, commercial complexes, and warehousing. A recipient of the National Honor of Commander of the Order of Nigeria, CON, Chief Okoya is widely recognized for his contributions to enterprise development, industrial growth, job creation, and philanthropy. Through educational scholarships, healthcare initiatives, and community development projects, he has continued to impact lives across Nigeria while inspiring generations of entrepreneurs and business leaders. I'm sorry, Right, so please join me to welcome our chairman of the day, Chief Razak Okoya, ably represented by the Director, Eleganza Group of Companies, Mr. Rahim Okoya, and also supported by Mr. Tokumbo Okoya, Director, Eleganza Group, Mrs. Modupe Sholanke, Group Legal Advisor, and Chief Benga Obasa.
Good morning. Distinguished special guest of honor, duly represented, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, members of the AM Agoro family, the chairman and members of the planning committee, our keynote speakers, the panelists, moderators, beneficiaries, entrepreneurs, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Every generation stands on the shoulders of those that have built it before. Today, we stand on the shoulders of AM Agoro. I want to thank the organizers for the invitation and commend everyone whose hard work has made this gathering possible. This event is more than a lecture. It is a celebration of enterprise, excellence, discipline, service, and legacy. AM Agoro, the man who Lagos knew as Baba Contractor, he did not inherit his standings, he built it. Through AM Agoro and Sons, he raised homes for the civil servants, traders in a growing Lagos. He made certain the children who came after him were educated to build further. We can name his virtues: discipline, focus, integrity, service. But he did more than hold them. He set them into brick and mortar. It is fitting that we honor a builder by his buildings. By promoting enterprise and encouraging a new generation, he raised institutions that will outlast them. This year's question, how a Nigerian business wins customers in a tough economy, is one Eleganza has spent 6 decades answering. As executive director, I see the answer proven every day, not just spoken of. A business may attract customers through publicity, but it keeps them through quality, reliability, fairness, and trust. Our company motto says it plainly. The name is your guarantee. It is a promise we have kept for over 60 years of production. From the procurement process to the production process, we do not compromise. We benchmark ourselves against global standards, not local convenience. Quality builds trust. Trust builds loyalty. Loyalty builds legacy. This is not a lesson I have inherited on paper. It is one I apply on the factory floor and in the boardroom every week. Every entrepreneur will face challenges, especially in an economy as demanding as ours. But difficult times create the room for innovation and growth. Those who stay focused, adaptable, committed to excellence will keep thriving. And that applies as much to a young founder with one product as it does to an enterprise with decades behind it. Manufacturing remains one of the strongest economic drivers. It creates jobs, adds value to local resources, and supports government efforts to improve people's standard of living. Every factory established, every small business nurtured, and every entrepreneur empowered helps put food on the table of Nigerian families. My father, Chairman of Eleganza, Chief Dr. Alhaji Razak Okoya, CON, has been preaching this same message for years. In 2023, he put into writing to the federal government that Nigerians' youth must be drawn into industrialization and agriculture through small to medium-scale manufacturing in rural areas. But this cannot happen on ambition alone. It requires experts that will train them, loans to procure machinery and equipment, and the basic infrastructure of roads, power, and telecommunications, without which no industrial village can survive. It is a message that has helped shape how our own company, Eleganza, thinks about growth. Look, I stand before you closer in age to many of you than the man whose legacy we celebrate. I say that not to claim his stature, but to tell every young entrepreneur, here's something true. The distance between where you sit and where you want to be is shorter than it looks. But you will not close it by waiting for permission or perfect conditions. Baba Agoro didn't. Begin with what you have. Refuse to compromise your name, your integrity, and let today's discipline become someone else's inheritance tomorrow. To every entrepreneur here, stay steadfast in your ambition, believe in your ideas, keep learning, hold to ethical practices, and never lose sight of your purpose. Nigeria's future will be shaped by the entrepreneurs courageous enough to create solutions, generate employment, and build lasting institutions. The greatest tribute we can pay Alhaji Ogoro's memory, Agoro, my bad, is not by words, but in purposeful action. We stood on his shoulders to get here today. Now, it is our turn to become shoulders for somebody else. Thank you. I congratulate the organizers of this initiative and thank all our guest speakers, partners, and participants for being here today. It is my pleasure to formally declare the 8th Annual AM Agoro Entrepreneurship Lecture Series officially open. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, ably represented by Mr. Rahim. And the plaque of recognition was presented by the daughter of the late AM Agoro, Alaja Olayinka Agoro. So next up, I will be introducing our special guest of honor for today, Mr. Olayemi Michael Cardoso, the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. And he is ably represented by Mr. Olubukola Akinwumi, a director at the Central Bank of Nigeria. Thank you for being here. Mr. As the president, I'm going to just give us a brief insight as to Mr. Cardoso's profile. Mr. Olayemi Michael Cardoso is the current governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, appointed in September 2023, where he leads the nation's monetary authority at a pivotal moment for Nigeria's economic stability. In recognition of his leadership and reform-driven approach, he was named Central Bank Governor of the Year at the 2025 African Banker Awards. A seasoned leader, public policy expert, and financial sector professional, Mr. Cardoso brings over 4 decades of experience spanning banking, development economics, and governance. He previously served as the first Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget for Lagos State, where he pioneered far-reaching reforms that institutionalized evidence-based policymaking and fiscal discipline, helping to position Lagos as one of Africa's most dynamic economies. In the private sector, Mr. Cardoso has held senior leadership positions across the financial services sector, including as chairman of Citibank Nigeria. He also serves on the boards of several leading corporations and non-profit organizations, contributing his expertise in finance, corporate governance, and sustainable development. Internationally, He has provided strategic guidance to a range of global institutions on economic development, urban policy, and financial sector reform. An advocate for good governance, accountability, and inclusivity, his leadership at the Central Bank of Nigeria is marked by a commitment to restoring confidence, ensuring price stability, deepening the financial system, and positioning Nigeria as a competitive player in the global economy. He holds a bachelor's degree in managerial and administrative studies from Aston University, UK, and a master's degree in public administration from the Harvard Kennedy School of Government as a Mason Fellow. He is also a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers and an honorary fellow of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. Unfortunately, Mr. Cardoso is not able to join us physically today, but he is very well and ably represented by Mr. Olubukola Akinwumi, Director, Central Bank of Nigeria.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As introduced, I'm not Mr. Olayemi Cardoso. What I have is address, which he handed to me to read out this morning. So you'll be hearing his voice in a short moment from now. The distinguished chairman of this occasion, Alhaji Okoya, the members of the Agoro family, business leaders, captains of industries, the keynote speaker today, Mr. Lulu Akinwumi, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. It is a pleasure to join you at the 8th Agoro Entrepreneurship Lecture Series. I commend the Agoro family for sustaining this initiative, which has become a valuable platform for encouraging entrepreneurship through knowledge sharing, mentorship, and practical support for emerging businesses. Initiatives such as these strengthen Nigeria's entrepreneurial ecosystem and remind us that building a prosperous Nigeria is a shared responsibility. The theme today, customer-centered enterprise in a challenging economy, could not be more timely. No country has achieved lasting prosperity without a vibrant private sector entrepreneurship. Ideas through entrepreneurship become businesses, and businesses create jobs, and jobs create opportunity. Across Nigeria, entrepreneurs identify opportunities where others see obstacles. They solve problems, create value, and strengthen their communities, and contribute to our nation's progress. Their success is not only personal achievement, it is central to Nigeria's long-term economic growth and prosperity. Small and medium-sized enterprises account for overwhelming majority of businesses in Nigeria and employ millions of our people. And if I may just add to his words at this point, at the last Monetary Policy Committee meeting, the governor did give some time to discuss SMEs. He is passionate about small and medium enterprise and believes that the banking sector should work for them. Across small and medium enterprises must begin to see increasing financing from financial institutions. They are the backbone of our economy, and the resilience they demonstrate daily deserves recognition. Across the country, young innovators are developing new technologies. Manufacturers are creating value. from local resources, women-owned businesses are transforming communities, and countless entrepreneurs are solving problems with remarkable ingenuity. But resilience alone is no longer enough. As Nigeria works to consolidate macroeconomic stability and unlock a new phase of sustainable growth, the role of entrepreneurs has never been more important. As strong institutions create the conditions for growth, it is enterprise that transforms those conditions into jobs, innovation, and shared prosperity. Today's customers are informed, more connected, and more discerning than ever before. Technology has transformed how people discover products, compare alternatives, and share their experiences. Therefore, in this environment, ladies and gentlemen, businesses compete not only on the quality of what they offer, but increasingly on the trust they earn. Trust is built through consistency, transparency, and integrity. Customers return to businesses that is consistently delivering value, keep their promises, and demonstrate genuine respect for those they serve. Over time, that trust becomes confidence. The confidence that encourages customers to return, investors to commit capital, and businesses to grow. Equally important is financial discipline. Every successful business will face changing economic conditions. The enterprises that endure are not always those that grow fastest, but those that manage their resources wisely, plan for uncertainty, and build long-term value rather than short-term gain. I would also encourage every entrepreneur, particularly our young entrepreneurs, to develop a deeper understanding of the economy in which they operate. Successful businesses pay attention not only to their own operations, but also to the wider economic environment. Understanding inflation, interest rates, exchange rates, and changing consumer behavior enable entrepreneurs to make better decisions, manage risk more effectively, and recognize new opportunities as they emerge. At the Central Bank of Nigeria, we recognize that entrepreneurship flourishes best in an environment of macroeconomic and financial stability. Businesses invest when they have confidence. Investors commit capital when they can plan with certainty. Financial institutions lend more effectively when financial system is stable and trusted. Macroeconomic stability is not abstract policy objective. It is what gives businesses the confidence to invest, employ, innovate, and plan for the future. That is why restoring confidence has been at the heart of our reform agenda. Our focus remains on maintaining monetary and financial stability, strengthening confidence in the financial system, modernizing our payments infrastructure, and deepening financial inclusion. These are the foundations upon which entrepreneurs can invest, innovate, and build sustainable businesses. Allow me to leave you with 3 reflections, and these are purely his reflections. First, know your customer better than anyone else. Businesses that genuinely understand the people they serve and continually adapt to their changing needs will always be better positioned to succeed. Second, earn trust before you pursue growth. Growth built on integrity, consistency, and sound governance is sustainable. Growth achieved without trust rarely is. Third, build for the long term. Invest in your people, embrace innovation, remain financially disciplined, and never stop learning. The businesses that endure are those that adapt without compromising their values. Nigeria's future will not be shaped by government alone. It will be shaped by entrepreneurs who solve problems, create opportunity, generate employment, and inspire confidence through the businesses they build. I remain optimistic about our economy's future, not because the challenges before us are insignificant, but because I have every confidence in the ingenuity, resilience, and determination of the Nigerian people. Every entrepreneur who builds on an honest business, every institution that fulfills its mandate, and every leader who chooses integrity over expediency strengthens the foundations of our economy. Together, by building trust, strengthening confidence, and creating lasting value, we can build a more resilient, more competitive, and more prosperous Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olubukola Akinwumi, on behalf of the CBN Governor, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso. Please, on his behalf, we will be presenting a plaque of recognition to you, and this plaque will be presented by the chairman of the Agoro Grandchildren Association. So he's my one generation up, Mr. Olasheni Jawando. Please welcome him. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Right. Onwards with the program. We've had very insightful information provided by our chairman and our special guest of honor. So now we will be moving on to, we'll be moving on with the program. So every worthwhile conversation begins with a strong perspective. This morning, we are privileged to hear from someone whose experience and leadership continues to shape conversations around business and enterprise. And who better to discuss this than our keynote speaker, Mr. Olu Akinwumi, the founder and Group Chief Executive Officer of Prima Garnet Africa. Round of applause, please. Maybe you're not clapping because I haven't read his profile, but wait till you hear the profile. Mr. Akinwumi is one of Nigeria's most respected marketing communicational professionals. I hail, sir. And as a humble disciple, sir. With over 4 decades of experience in advertising, branding, strategic communication, public policy, and business leadership. He is the founder and Group Chief Executive Officer of Prima Garnet Africa, one of Nigeria's leading integrated marketing communication groups, established in 1992. Over the years, he has led major communication assignments for multinational corporations, government institutions, development organizations, and leading international and indigenous brands. He began his career with Lintas Nigeria and has since played a defining role in the growth of Nigeria's marketing communications industry. He served as president of the Association of Advertising Agencies in Nigeria, and later as chairman of the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, where he championed professionalism, industry development, and regulatory reforms. He served as president of the Association of Advertising Agencies of Nigeria and later as chairman of the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria. Anyway, he was also the pioneer chief executive officer of the Nigeria rebranding project, Good People, Great Nation. I think that deserves a round of applause. The Good People, Great Nation initiative was designed to reposition Nigeria's image, strengthen national pride, and promote a more positive perception of the country locally and internationally. Beyond corporate and public sector leadership, he has contributed significantly to education, mentorship, and thought leadership. He teaches strategic marketing and agency management at postgraduate level and remains a sought-after speaker on marketing, branding, leadership, nation branding, innovation, and strategic communication. Communications and induction into the Marketing Communication Hall of Fame. A recipient of several professional honors, including recognition as a legend, as I said earlier, of marketing communications and induction into the Marketing Communication Hall of Fame. He is widely regarded as one of the leading voices in Africa's marketing and communication landscape. He is also a published author, mentor, business strategist, and ordained minister. Today, he delivers the keynote address on the theme, Customer-Centered Enterprise in a Challenging Economy. On the topic, winning the customer in a tough economy, how Nigerian businesses can adapt and grow. So please join me to welcome Mr. Lulu Akinwumi.
Was all that about me? Okay. The chairman of today's event, ably represented by the executive director of the Eleganza Group, members of the Agoro family, the CBN governor,